Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Haas, and this is a bit more SMITE. This time we're playing the very newest champion in SMITE called Naja, the Third Lotus Prince, and in SMITE this god boy plays the role of an assassin melee carry. Now the items we picked are first of all Death's Toll. This will give us more sustain and a bit more health. Secondly, we picked Warrior Tubby for a bit more movement speed and a bit more damage, and we're starting at the red buff. Now the red buff, that is to say the damage buff, is of course at the left lane, and I've asked Neith, who has the middle, to help us out in killing this as quickly as possible. In turn, Sobek has picked the Hand of the Gods active ability, which we'll use in a second. Now the reason we're getting these buffs is, first of all, to get a bit of an experience lead, in theory anyway, but secondly, we're going to be trying to be as aggressive as possible, depending on what we'll actually be facing. Now I'm getting these buffs. I'm getting the damage buff to get more damage, and secondly I'm getting the blue buff, which is the mana buff, so I can basically keep spamming my first ability without running out of mana. My first ability is called Universe Ring Toss, and this is where, surprise surprise, Naja tosses the Universe Ring, which can bounce up to 5 times at level 1 and bounces up to 9 times at level 4. You can probably do the math in between. This ring will in turn damage enemies, and it also applies a stacking physical protection debuff. Meanwhile, it also slows them, and it gives Naja, me, a stacking movement speed increase. Basically, it's all around very useful, and it's very nice to also just harass your lane enemies with. Coincidentally, the enemy lane gods are also a Sobek and a Bakasura. Now Bakasura is, just like Naja, a melee physical carry, and I think I recently did a video of him, so go check that out if you want a bit more detail. Sobek is of course not at all a melee physical carry, he is instead a tank, meaning he can take tons of punishment, and he also has a lot of crowd control, which works really well with someone like Naja, or in their case Bakasura. Another tanky god, or instead a god focused on support like Aphrodite, can work really well with Naja. I actually have to be really careful of their enemy Sobek here, because if he grabs me, I'm probably dead, because I'll get hit by their minions, I'll get hit by Bakasura and of course Sobek, and I can't take any punishment. Which is something our Sobek is about to exploit, as their Bakasura is completely out of position, gets grabbed by Sobek, I hit him with my third ability, and he pretty much dies from the tower. Now my third ability is called Armillary Sash, and is the second ability I picked up. This basically hits enemies in a line, it passes through minions and hits the first enemy god. The target is then stunned for 1 second, then Naja dashes towards him, dealing damage in a small area of effect. I would recommend focusing on Universe Ring Toss, the first ability, followed by Armillary Sash, the third ability. Do not get the second ability until last, because it's just not worth it early on. The second ability is pretty good, it's called Flaming Spear, and this is where Naja gets a bit of attack speed and critical strike chance, but the flat out damage from Armillary Sash and Universe Toss are just much better at the start. Now our Sobek is being very aggressive here and actually gets grabbed by their Sobek. He takes a lot of tower damage. This is pretty dangerous. Their Bakasura just arrived, jumped, didn't hit anyone though. They used Girdle of Might. I hit them with Universe Ring Toss. I actually hit Armillary Sash on Bakasura. It just leveled up to 5, and this is where you're gonna see the ultimate, which is called Wind, Fire, Wheels. I hit all 3 of them, which means they go into crits, and their Sobek is trying to escape. I hit them with Universe Ring Toss. I hit the creeps with it. It bounces onto Sobek, and we get a double kill, which is 3 kills for us and 0 for them. As you just saw, they shouldn't have gone in when I was about to level up to level 5, because this is where you, of course, get your ultimate, and in Naja's case, it's called Wind, Fire, Wheels. Now this one is pretty interesting, because it is basically a dash, meaning it can also be used as an escape, making it Naja's only escape ability. But if you successfully hit an enemy with this, they'll be knocked into the air for 4 seconds, and Naja will hit him 3 times. Clicking at the right time, basically when it says attack in giant font, will result in guaranteed critical hits, meaning you can do 3 free critical hits with this. Plus, it works as an effective crowd control, because while they're in the air, they're not going anywhere. Naja and the target god will then smash back onto the ground, dealing additional area of effect damage, and Naja will flip back to his starting location. So essentially it is a very powerful crowd control and damage ability, but can also be used in rare situations where you need it as a pure escape. Now what I didn't mention yet was his passive. Naja's passive is called Child of the Lotus, and in this case it is again pretty interesting. When Naja dies, he'll heal nearby allies every second and increases their protection, but more importantly, in most situations, is the 4 swing combo. Basically, it turns Naja's attacks into combo attacks. His third basic attack will do more damage than regular, and his fourth basic attack will do even more damage, and also hit in an area of effect. Which is why attack speed, such as the good, lovely stuff he gets from Flaming Spear, can be pretty useful, but again, because you have Flaming Spear, I wouldn't recommend building actual attack speed items, which is something I see a lot of Najas do, but I would focus on damage items first, because this really makes your, well, first and third ability, not to mention your ultimate, benefit the most, whereas they won't really get anything out of attack speed. On that note, the first item I would recommend you get is called Devours Gloves. Now this basically gives you flat out physical power and lifesteal, which are both really something you need. But you have to get this item quickly because you need to get stacks, and in order to get stacks you need to kill creeps. If you get this as one of your final items, it will pretty much be useless. Not to mention you need the lifesteal early on in order to survive better. Now I'm noticing Bakasura and Sobek are pretty far out into the lane. Our Sobek actually goes in on them. Bakasura uses ultimate, but I hit Bakasura right between all his creeps with Armillary Sash. I hit him with Windfire Wheels and I finish him off. I'm trying not to get hit by Sobek's ultimate here because that actually hurts quite a bit, and their Sobek is trying to escape, but our Sobek grabs him. We go in on him. We're trying to kill him pretty badly here. I'm trying to stun him with Armillary Sash, but he knocks me back, interrupting Armillary Sash. I can still hit him with Universe Ring Toss though, and I hit him right between the creeps, finishing him off. And now we're on 5 kills, and they're still on 0. As you can see, it's going pretty well in our lane. And as you can see as well, it is a pretty good combination. So, mere moments later, I have actually bought the first rank of Devours Gloves, and I'm noticing their Sobek and Bakasura are yet again halfway in the lane, so I use Universe Ring Toss in order to bounce towards the enemies. I hit Bakasura with Armillary Sash, and hopefully Sobek can hit him with the ultimate. He used Aegis though, so I wait for that. I use Windfire Wheels in order to hit Bakasura. I do a lot of damage. I managed to hit him with just a basic attack in between his creeps. Now, only Sobek is left here. He's actually doing tons of damage on me, so I'm trying to escape because all the creeps are hurting pretty bad, and I don't want to die at this point. So I'm waiting for our Sobek to get the aggro on all the creeps, which he just did. He grabs their Sobek. I hit Armillary Sash on Sobek. He just knocked me back, but I hit him again with Universe Ring Toss, and that is yet again a kill for us. We're now 7 kills ahead of them if my math doesn't fail me, and this is going pretty well. Again, items-wise, I would focus on straight-up physical damage. After getting Devours Gloves, I would get something like Deathbringer, which just basically does a ton of physical power, gives you a bit of critical strike chance, but more importantly, increases critical strike damage by 50%, which is great in combination with your ultimate, because again, you can basically get 3 free critical strikes. Other items, such as the Executioner, does give you attack speed, but also gives you physical power, and basically gives physical penetration stacks on the enemy, so that is actually a really good item to get. Beyond these, I would of course leave a few slots left for potential defenses if you need them. So a few moments later, I'm hearing the sound of a Bakasura attacking a creep camp, and yes, he is. So I actually managed to snipe the red buff with Universe Ring Toss. He does jump away, so I go after him in order to maybe hit him with Windfire Wheels, but I'm noticing that Neith has actually gone in on Ao Kuang, who poses a bigger threat, so instead use Windfire Wheels on Ao Kuang. I hit him with 3 criticals, I hit both of them with the AoE from Windfire Wheels, and we get both the kills on Bakasura, who just wanted to help his little dragon friend, and Ao Kuang, and that's 2 more kills for us, which Neith picked up in this case, that they didn't get. So here we have a tower that is reasonably undefended. The enemies at the right lane are still actually in the right lane, and the enemy Sobek is still in the left lane, so we can easily get this tower. Now I have the damage buff, I have the speed buff. Again, I am in no real danger here. You should always make sure that the enemies are in vision range when you're attacking towers like this, because if they kill me at this point, that would be a pretty bad thing, because things are quickly spiraling out of control for them. Now I'm noticing our Sobek is doing a pretty good job at killing the enemy Sobek, so I figure I'd go over there and maybe say hello if I can. I'm actually trying to aim Universe Ring Toss on the little creep here, but Sobek kills it, not that it really matters. I instead hit Sobek with Armillary Sash, but we can't really chase him. I don't feel like tower diving here. I don't have any mana. I do hear a Bakasura actually attacking the speed buff camp though, so I go and see if I can say hello to him instead, but I think he's still around there. Yeah, he's too fast to actually catch up to him though, so never mind that. I do see an Ao Kuang coming in from the middle. I actually hit Armillary Sash on Ao Kuang. He used his ultimate, so I back off a bit. I don't want to get knocked back. I don't want to take the damage. Neith actually picks up the kill on Ao Kuang with her snipe ability, her ultimate, and that is yet another kill for our team. And again, it is going pretty disastrous for their team. And As a result, I can't really blame them, they actually concede, and that was a very quick match. A very, very silly match, I think. But you should probably get a good idea of what Naja can do in this case and what kind of hero you want to be laning with. So, my name's been Haas, thank you for watching this silly Smite video, and I'll see you guys on the next silly Smite video.